Ya. ¿Nervioso?
Yo soy malo para hablar. Hi guys, so today we have a special video because we have today with us Julian. He is from Toronto, Canada. He's 29 years old and he has been living in Medellín for 10 months already, okay? He came to Medellín or to Colombia to meet girls.
That's
and
it. No, that's it. That's it.
No, the second one, to learn Spanish.
Okay, of course. But that's a means to an end.
So basically, his main purpose was to meet girls. He has worked in tech for many years. We have been working together for 10 months already, since more or less December. He went back to Canada for a while. We did together about 65 hours of Spanish lessons, private Spanish lessons. I have some questions for you regarding your process, your Spanish process, okay? And also about Medellín or Colombia. Why did you think about Medellín, about coming to Medellín?
Well, people told me that I was looking online which Latin American country had the prettiest girls, and people kept saying that Colombia had the prettiest girls, and then people kept saying that there's something in the gene pool in Medellín that makes the most beautiful women here. So that is the honest truth, because I came here literally just to date and basically get that out of my system before I get a serious girlfriend. So that's it. It's just because the girls are hot.
Then, like you said, Spanish was like a byproduct of that. It was important for you to speak some Spanish, to meet girls. How do you think knowing Spanish helped in your dating time?
I think you can date without Spanish here, but there's going to be a limit to how much you can express yourself and really like show your personality. Like you can say like eres linda and whatever and pick up girls, but to actually build a relationship with someone and connect with someone, you can't just be on your phone using Google Translate. You actually have to learn how to express your desires and what you think and stuff like that. So I mean, at the beginning I was like everyone, just using doing my best. I only knew how to say like me gusta and use Google Translate, but I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much express anything I want with errors. But yeah.
Learning Spanish is a process.
Right.
Spanish classes are just part of the process. What else did you do that helped you speed up the process of learning Spanish?
You want to know the honest truth?
Yes.
The one thing that what trumped all other methods is dating. Just going out with as many girls as possible. Not even necessarily like you don't have to. I wasn't even that interested in all the girls, but just going on dates. Like you think about it, each date is 2 to 3 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And most of the girls here in Colombia, they don't speak English. There's very few, okay? I've probably been on, I don't want to say the number, but I've been on a lot of dates this year. Right. And I would say only 2 girls actually could have a conversation with me in English, okay? Mm-hmm. So even at the beginning, no, zero English. And you think about it, right? You're so motivated to communicate what you're feeling and yourself. So when you're on a date, you're like really concentrating like you were in a class of like, oh my God, I want to try to learn how to communicate, right? So I would say the absolute, like everything that trumps all methods, even your classes, Carlos, like
no problem.
the trumps all methods by a long shot, by a country mile. Dating is just the number one way. I mean, people say it online, but it's true. It's the number one way to learn a language.
And what do you think about the most difficult thing about learning Spanish? What was it?
I think there's a couple things. One, the pronunciation. Although Spanish is like read how it's written, the vowels and the letters they sound a lot different than they do in English. And when I came here, I really didn't want that gringo accent. I hate it. I think it sounds terrible. It just sounds like bad, and I don't want to be that. So I worked a lot with Carlos to improve sounds of certain vowels, most of the vowels actually, right? To make them sound more natural. So that would say number one, pronunciation of vowels. Number two is things that you say in English that you translate in your head to Spanish. And this is actually a problem once you learn more, right? Like I can translate anything in my head, but it doesn't sound like it just obviously sounds weird, right? So I would say those two things. I think for me personally, listening has been the most difficult thing. Like when I speak with you, I'm so accustomed to how you speak, right? But if I speak to someone new, they have all their ways of saying things, and like, especially if you're in a group of people speaking Spanish,
Right.
people speaking very fast, people are merging words, like this can be like really difficult. So I would say those three things: pronunciation, listening, and what was the third thing? Oh yeah, translating stuff in English to Spanish.
I think you are doing a great job. I think your pronunciation is very good. And I always tell my students, I am not the kind of teacher that speaks Spanish like slowly. I try to speak Spanish fast because I always say like nobody's going to speak to you with subtitles.
Right.
Okay. Nobody's going to speak to you like, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" That's not realistic. I mean, nobody speaks like that.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing a great job. Anyway, you tell me your honest opinion about them.
Okay.
The first one, language exchanges.
Yeah, I remember you told me initially they were trash, and then I went to them and I'm like, this is trash, and I think it's just trash because you always have the same conversations. Like everyone, I don't know, I haven't been able to go to one and have an interesting conversation with someone I don't know. Right? It's like it's always the same shit. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde vienes? ¿Qué haces aquí? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? It's like the same stuff, and what you end up doing is just repeating the stuff you already know. Like you're not challenging yourself. So I think just absolute waste of time.
Okay. Next one, dating.
Oh, I'd said this is number one.
Number one, dating.
It's not. By the way, guys, it's not even close. It's the number one method. It's just amazing. You got to do it.
Okay. And then you were mentioning tandem.
Yeah. So when I first started, actually before I met you, that was actually my primary thing. I had a calendar of appointments I made with people on this app, and it's basically a one-on-one language exchange. And you just, you have a Google Meet call, a 1 hour a week, right? And it can be quite good, right? If you find someone you connect with. So I would say that's a great method, especially if you're not in an immersive environment, right? Because I'm here, I speak Spanish all the time. I barely speak English, right? But if you're at home, like, and you don't have access to people who, you don't have that opportunity to speak Spanish 8 hours a day, this is a great way to do it.
Right. Duolingo.
I never even downloaded the app here. Not even I don't have the app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Music. Listening to music.
Yeah, I think I started doing this recently to improve my vocabulary because I felt like I was unable to and improve my expressions, stuff that people say that sounds more natural. So I actually started using it. I really like salsa. So I started listening to salsa and reading the lyrics. And if I don't understand something, use ChatGPT to like understand what it says. So I really like that method.
Watching movies and TV shows.
For me, I don't do either of those even in English. So I don't do that.
Okay. Grammar exercises.
Only the ones you've given me. That's not true. I've made ChatGPT make me some. But I think this stuff only helped me once I got to a certain level. Because at the beginning, I'm just using like present anyways, and I think it's better I just learn to speak and listen and make the errors of the conjugations. So I didn't focus on that at the beginning, but now I do it because I need to fix the problems.
Volunteering.
So if dating was number one, so dating's number one, your classes are number two, and then volunteering's number three. So I volunteer here at a kids foundation called Poderhoven. Check it out, Instagram. It's a really beautiful foundation. It's like a kids foundation. It's in a neighborhood in Medellín called Manrique, and it's like a barrio. It's like not the neighborhood with the most money. So I've been going there for Jesus, like 10 months, and every week 2 or 3 times.
How many hours a week?
Oh, Jesus, like
20?
yeah, 20 hours a week. So 20 hours a week, I've been doing that for almost a year. And there's no English. There's not even basic English. Like there's no like hello, or there's nothing. There's nothing. No one understands anything. So that's like, and it's all kids, right? So it's like, I'm not speaking with adults for the most part. I'm speaking with like 7-year-olds and like 11-year-olds who like grew up in a barrio, right? So this, I think volunteering has really helped me a lot because just exposure to listening, right? And hearing people talk in groups, words that you've never heard before. This is a great method if you're not dating. I would say amazing method.
Okay. Great information, great value for most people that want to learn Spanish, that are looking for different resources, and sometimes people that always hear the same thing, online. Okay, listen to music, but they don't give like real stuff, real things to do. I think your insights are very interesting. I hope people find them interesting, that you guys can start using some of the things that Julian talked about today. And thanks a lot. I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you. Okay, I really appreciate all the patience, but I think we have had a great time together. And you just need to keep working on your Spanish. You are in more or less B1.
So how much longer till I get to my B2?
I think we already did the most difficult part. Okay.
Okay.
That was to get you to B1. And then I think you just need to keep working on your Spanish next year. Okay, we are in November already. So keep working on your Spanish, keep working on your pronunciation. Like I said, there are some very advanced topics that we still need to work on. But yeah, I mean, like 6 months to a year, I mean, your Spanish is going to be amazing.
B2.
Okay?
B2.
B2 for sure. My wife recently watched a video of you speaking Spanish and she was so surprised. She told me like, oh, his Spanish is so good. I emphasize a lot pronunciation because I think
Carlos is not an easy teacher, by no means.
And that's I'm
very
glad.
strict teacher.
I'm glad that you said that because I'm very strict with pronunciation.
And
I
errors.
think, because in my own personal experience learning English, I make mistakes. My English is not perfect. I try to pronounce as close to people pronouncing English in the US. Many people don't pay enough attention to pronunciation. I think it's very important. So I am very strict, it's true. But my goal is to help my students as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting paid for this, but I really enjoy what I do. I'm very lucky because people pay me for doing what I do. We're gonna keep in touch because we still have to finish some of the classes that you paid for. And we're gonna keep doing online lessons, but it's been a pleasure. I wish you the best and yeah, keep working on your Spanish, man.
Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah, that was good. Okay.
It's good.